I'm Booker Mason. I've been with the Masons for 18 years, since John discovered me at Malaga Cove Library and brought me home. I'm one of a long line of Mason cats, and I think all of us have been very fortunate. Ah, that feels great, John. Ah, don't you just love Dixieland? That's Kid Ory, one of Mary and John's favorites. They used to go see him and his band at Beverly Cavern. Kid Ory got his start with Louis Armstrong. How do I know about Dixieland? You learn a lot when you live in the Mason household, and you hear a lot of music. Ask me about opera sometime. Mary and John loved cats very much, but they loved many, many things together and shared their enthusiasm with their children, grandchildren, and extended family. Yes, they had quite an extended family. Mary and John shared over 50 years together and loved many things. They loved opera, and yes, John sang opera to the children while driving them to baseball games. And oh my, did they love baseball and travel, especially space travel, and loved entertaining and playing bridge with friends. And they, of course, loved education, especially math and science. Mary and John also loved art, and of course they loved their children, their homes, and their very extended family, including their dogs. My job is to help you through this story, provide a little guidance along the way. The Mason family are a collection of great characters. What's it like to be a Mason? Let's meet a few of them.
I'm proud of being in the Mason family because everybody is really fun and nice and kind, and we're very enthusiastic about education and athletics, and everyone's just really supportive and fun to be around.
I'm fortunate because, well, compared to a lot of my friends, their grandparents are they don't really get along that well with them. And a lot of them are divorced, and mine have always been together, and they always spend a lot of time with me, and I talk to them on the phone, and they've always been very loving and a good role model for me to look up to.
They're both scientists. They learned a lot from the early experiments on Dan, Peter, and I, and applied that knowledge that they learned to raising Mary Ann and John. Most important thing is that whether you're the child of the parent or the parent of the child should be having love and respect for each other, and also to keep things interesting and never be boring.
I think I definitely see a lot of my dad in me. As far as for my mom, I think she was a little more introspective, creative. My enjoyment of music, I certainly get a little bit of that's sort of a completely different part of my personality, I guess, and I get more of that from her.
I want to point out that you will see an injured child in the next clip. I'm embarrassed to say it was a cat attack that occurred in Kirkwood, Missouri, an area I've never visited. Okay, some cats do have their moments.
Very fun, energetic family, very open and very welcoming. It's a hard act to follow, I have to say. It's you have to be up on your literature and up on your history and your politics before any family reunion.
Definitely very warm, affectionate, and certainly my father would always defer to my mother in certain areas of expertise, especially when I was in junior high school and high school, and working on homework, especially math. And he would say, "Oh, your mother's really the math expert. You should really ask her about this."
I would describe them as dedicated to each other, very committed to each other, and very much in love.
I guess the other thing about their relationship is they always had a big group of kids to deal with, so they were often both in the background. At least from our point of view, we were writing the rules and we were telling the story. But looking back on it now, they were much more influential in so many ways than I was aware of at the time. The way they interacted is they would tend to share quiet moments together, and they would kind of have to steal those little quiet moments amidst the hubbub of family life. Just a little reminiscence about a trip they'd done together, and a moment that they'd shared, and then they'd relive that. And I remember they were talking to each other about our first camping trip that we did with the Conleys way back in the mid-'60s, and that was like a real sort of touchstone for them, I think, because that was a tough trip, you know, with little kids and everything, that they did that and got through that with good humor, you know, and with the burros and everything. It was just they were sharing laughter about those sorts of things.
You know, over the course of all the years that I knew them in their marriage, I know it was always true that John was always the more talkative one and Mary was the more quiet one. But every once in a while she'd get in a zinger, you know, and she certainly had things to say. They were kind of like yin and yang. The sign of a good marriage is one where they figure out each other's strengths and weaknesses and can, you know, blend those well.
It's been really fun being here and hope to live here all my life, and just kind of been crazy too, all my family coming over, his family for Christmas and all of these holidays, and just thankful for Opa greeting my family. So many memories I can't describe or say, but they're always been in my heart.
Well, it's really fun since Opa has all these really cool stuff. He's really fun to hang out with. Love you, Opa. Being part of the Mason family is really fun, and spending time with Opa and spending time with Oma was a time that I really treasured. And like always going to Costco